Our next topic looks at how energy efficiency might impact on other parts of a business. So no part of a business really operates independently. When you start looking for ways to improve energy efficiency, other business improvement ideas are likely to emerge, and the energy improvements themselves might deliver other business benefits. Some businesses have told us about reduced energy consumption that not only helped manage their costs, but also freed up energy that they could use for additional equipment and more production output. On the other hand, making a change in part of the business might reduce energy consumption, but create unexpected challenges somewhere else. So we'll look at some of these possible interactions today, grouped around process value analysis, scheduling and rescheduling, right-sizing, and unexpected outcomes or benefits. And we'd like to illustrate this with a couple of examples. We'll start with a video, a clip from Zip Heaters, where they found that analysing their energy use and production led to changes in the product design and processes. And this resulted in reduced labour, materials, production time, as well as reduced energy costs. Brian, the manufacturing director, explains in this video clip.
So what we've got here is a set of the external panels that go into making our video generation hydrotap. These panels are all white powder coated panels, which then is produced on a powder coating line that requires gas and power to coat them. The individual panels, and I use this example, the front cover has 8 bends on it. There's 2 bends on each of these edges, which makes 8 bends on that, the same on that, the same on the lids, and a total of approximately 39 bends required to make the external panels. Okay, so what we see here now is a later generation of hydrotap front covers. We replaced all the door panels on the front with the plastic molded design, which gives it a better aesthetic appearance, and the wrapper now replaces all the side and top panels. So effectively what we've done is we've gone from about 39 bends on the external panels down to 4 bends on this wrapper, and no powder coating, because this is a pre-painted metal part that we then bend as required.
Louise, this example highlights the energy aspects of product design, but you've seen some energy benefits from your process flow improvements.
Yes. Recently we've begun to analyse our operations as a whole, instead of looking at individual pieces of equipment. And what we've found is that we can gain significant energy savings by maximising the flow of our operations, so that equipment that is used in sequence is located in close proximity. This has been so effective that by replanning the layout of one of our factories, we have reduced our manufacturing footprint by a whole building. So this has not only streamlined our operations, as you can imagine, but has saved us a whole building's worth full of lights, air conditioning, and has reduced the distance needed to be travelled by forklifts.
And Kevin, you've got some examples where the energy efficiency process identified other benefits.
Yes, another company we talked to was examining their peak demand, and now we talk about peak demand in another video. They found that one item of equipment was a large energy user. They checked a bit further and found they turned it on every day at the beginning of the day, but it was only used for a portion of that day and just sat there for the rest of the day chewing up energy but not producing anything useful. So they looked at their scheduling and found that they could in fact get away with just turning this equipment on every second or third day. And so this reduced the energy used by this process to about a half or third of what it was before. And sure, the scheduling needed to be careful, but it gave them significant energy savings for no expenditure. If we take this example a bit further, the solution that company found was by scheduling. But another company was running large compressor 24/7 to keep the pressure up for the factory, even though on the night shift it only needed a small amount of compressed air. So they came up with a different solution. They bought a smaller, cheap compressor just to run on night shift. In the field of lean manufacturing, this is known as right-sizing. In another example, there was a business who changed over their office from a ducted central air conditioning system to a series of smaller split system air conditioners. Each of these was only designed to handle a small section of the office. This gave them greater energy efficiency and so lower power bills, as each was only turned on when it was needed. There was also a side benefit from that in that they could then run each air conditioner at a temperature that the people in that area found comfortable. And so, whereas before some were always hot and others were always cold, this meant they had fewer squabbles and better productivity. So most business improvement projects will have a range of both expected and unexpected outcomes. And we need to capitalise on the positive ones and appropriately manage any non-beneficial outcomes. So some other unexpected outcomes we found from talking to business. One business found they'd been paying the water bills for all businesses in their street without realising it until they started analysing their bills and monitoring their water use. Now, this is not energy efficiency, but it's still a noteworthy example. A fabric maker redesigned their cleaning system to reduce energy. They'd previously used compressed air to blow the dust around, which of course just blew it all over the place. They changed over to a vacuum system, which both removed the dust and was much better for health and safety.
So on one hand, energy improvements and the analysis process can have unexpected effects on different aspects of the business. But on the other hand, the energy improvements can interact with each other or have a cumulative effect. So this needs to be considered as well. Louise, you've had some experience with this.
Yes, we had a good example recently of the importance of interacting effects when we were looking at upgrading the air conditioning in one of our factories. In this area, we have a custom-designed waste paper extraction system, which extracts paper cuttings via a localised vacuum. And it wasn't until we were quite far down the track of designing a new air conditioning system that we learned that the vacuum effect of the waste paper system was strong enough to pull in the air from the air conditioning system, and thus the two couldn't operate in tandem. And it was a good lesson which reminded us to make sure that we look at interacting processes or effects, no matter how unexpected or unlikely we think that they are, when designing new processes or installing new equipment.
So there's many ways that energy efficiency can affect other aspects of the business, and today we've seen some examples of the connections between energy efficiency, product design, process analysis, scheduling, equipment maintenance and right sizing.